Beginning accounts payable balances setup. For shops starting to use MaxxTraxx with any outstanding accounts payables that were tracked in another software program or by hand, we'll need to enter those payables into MaxxTraxx. Let's take a look at the process to do this. From the menu bar, click Vendors and select Accounts Payable Vendor List. Enter the vendor name for the payable to be created, and if the vendor is not on the list, just click the Add Vendor button and enter a company name and a vendor code, and that is all you need to get a vendor record started. Double-click on the vendor name to open, and click the yellow Options button on the left, and we'll select Create New Invoice. By the way, credits are entered by clicking Create New Credit, and the process is the same. I'll click the Create New Invoice. And this is where you can recreate each outstanding invoice you have with this vendor. Enter the invoice number and hit the Tab key. I use the Tab key throughout this screen. Enter the date of the invoice, Tab, and the due date, Tab. You could click the Select button and choose from the calendar, but I just enter the month/day and MaxxTraxx does the year for me. Enter the amount here and tab. A note if needed, I'll just tab again and this disbursement window will open. In most cases, the beginning balances in MaxxTraxx are posted to the 19900 System Balance Initial Setup account, unless your accountant directs you otherwise. Click OK, and you can see above here the other side of the transaction automatically posted to the 20,000 Payables Trade account. Let's discuss a few things here before clicking OK and saving this payable. Another option to entering every outstanding invoice and credit memo that you have with this vendor is to just enter the balance you owe them in a single transaction. Once that single transaction is posted, let's say we owe them $5,000 through the end of October. And let's say for this example, we've been entering our recent purchases from this vendor through the Restock Parts function starting November 1st. So we could just have this one entry on this account and edit the amount to pay if we want to. Let's say I only want to pay half of my outstanding balance. So let's click OK to save this payable. And then we'll click Options and select Pay AP Transactions. So here we click in the Select column for that beginning balance entry and click the Edit Amount and Discount button down here. Enter the amount we want to pay, let's say half, $2,500, and click OK. Click Next and select your method of payment, cash, check, or one of the company credit cards. This brings me to another thing I want to review in this video, company credit cards as vendors. I'll just cancel out of here and cancel again. Let's take a look at my Citibank Visa vendor account as an example. Note here, if I were to enter my outstanding payables for Citibank by creating a new invoice, notice my default payables account. It's not defaulting to 20,000 payables trade, like with my tire vendor just a second ago. This vendor account is assigned to be tracked on a different AP account on the general ledger with a different account type as well, which makes my Citibank Visa show up as a payment method when I go to pay my bills. So please see the training video, Company Credit Card Setup and Review, in the Accounts Payable section of the training videos for complete instructions on how to set up your company credit card vendor record before entering your beginning balances for those company credit cards. And this concludes the lesson on beginning accounts payable balances setup.